start recording. Hello guys, hello chat. How you guys doing? It's been a while. I've been streaming since Monday. But yeah, hopefully my stream schedule should be more consistent after next week when we do Rusty Lake October. But I thought I might as well. I was thinking. So today I wasn't sure on what to stream, and I was thinking, right, we have 5 Rusty Lake games. Well, 6, because we got the past within as well. But we got 6 Rusty Lake games to play, and I don't know when I'm gonna get to the past within, honestly. But we have 6 Rusty Lake games to play. Like 5 of them I desperately want to play, like during October. But the thing is, we'll also probably be playing. Well, we will most likely also be playing Stardew with Sage throughout October. So if you think about it, and I'll only be streaming like twice a week. I'll only stream twice a week, so it's like, oh, so maybe one Rusty Lake stream a week, and then I start a stream, I like roughly, and I know that there's some times where it's like, oh, me and Sage can't stream for whatever reason, together for a reason, so we might go without a multiplayer Stardew stream for that week. So we might be able to do so. Yeah, so I was thinking, oh, I might as well. That was not coherent, but basically, I know there's some weeks that like we don't stream, that we might not stream Stardew because like our schedules might not line up. But most of the time, it's like we do try and have like a Stardew stream with me and Sage, like every week, or like every 2 weeks. We try and make that happen, hopefully. So, yeah, and. Huh? Oh wait, no, I know the context. Okay, so like 20 minutes ago, Ramble messaged one of the group chats we're in, and sent a link to a TikTok, and it was of this person who, I'm not gonna share their thing because I don't want them to get like harassed or whatever, but it was basically this person who was lip syncing to this audio, and it has like 2 parts, like a guy part and like and one of them's like a guy part, and the person, when they were singing the guy part, you know how like there's a lot of like skit makers when they're like you know, dressing up as their mum or whatever, and they'll put like a towel on their head. This person did a similar thing, but instead they put a mustache on. And this mustache looked rather unfortunate, to say the least. And Ramble just, and I just said back me like, oh? And Ramble just messaged, I was scared, Poppy. And I was just like, wait, why the fuck is Ramble saying I was scared? And I was like, no, I know, it's because of that TikTok video. But yeah, back into the topic of stream schedules. So basically, in October, basically TLDR. Basically, I want to try and have it where it's like 1 Rusty Lake stream a week, and then 1 Stardew stream a week. So yeah, and roughly I have had a look, and roughly each of the Rusty Lake games I do have left to play are like 2 to 3 hours in length. I know that there's one, I think it might be Paradise, I think. It's either Paradise or Hotel. That's like 3 to 4 hours long, so we probably won't get that done in like 1 stream. Might get that done in like 2 streams. So if Sage can't stream Stardew 1 week in October, then we'll play it. If not, then we'll just do that one over 2 weeks maybe, or I might drop an extra stream. I don't know, or we'll just play that like another time, like later on in the year. I don't know, but I do want to, and then we'll just do like, instead of like a first playthrough, we'll do like an achievement hunting stream for a Rusty Lake game. But yeah, I do want to try and do one Rusty Lake stream a week, and then 1 Stardew stream a week for October. So yeah, and then in November, I want to do another Cabernet playthrough. So Yeah, and I'm trying to clean my glasses right now because they are being a fucking dickhead. Anyways, I'm probably just gonna yap for a little bit because I did look, and this game, playing the Mr. Rabbit Magic Show, by the way. I've had this one in my folder for like in my Steam library for a while, for a little bit, ever since they kind of released it, I think, and I've been meaning to play it, and I was like, you know, I did look it up, and it's like this one is like I did have a look, and like all the people who posted playthroughs of it, this one was like an hour to an hour and a half, so probably gonna yap for probably half an hour. Oh no. Uh-oh. My bitrate went down. What is going on? This is why I didn't want to get into Rusty Lake right away. Is that I was like scared that my bitrate would go down. But luckily, hopefully, that's the only time that happens. So this is why, you know what, I'm gonna change to just chatting. And then I'm gonna change to just chatting for now. And then we can change it back to Mr. Rabbit's Rabbit Show. So yeah. Yapping, then Rusty. Hello Uzi, welcome on in. I'm doing pretty good. It's going pretty good. How are you doing? Uzi? Welcome on in. So yeah, we're just yapping about kind of what I want my stream schedule to look like in October. But basically in October, I'm gonna try and do one Rusty Lake stream a week, and then one Stardew Sage stream a week, cause in October my stream schedule is going down to 2 times a week, cause I have uni and I'll be too exhausted from uni to be doing I'll be in uni, so I'll be too tired to stream 4 times a week. So we're going down to 2 times a week as usual. How's your week? It was alright. Oh yeah, you know how on Monday I mentioned how I had a uni thing, I had a lecture on Tuesday, but I wasn't sure whether it was going to happen because timetables were fucking around with us. Yeah, that lecture wasn't actually supposed to be on my timetable. I emailed my lecturer like at like 11:45, like midday pretty much, on Monday, and she got back to me 8 p.m. on Tuesday being like, yeah, that's not supposed to be on your timetable. Teacher starts next week. So yeah, I literally I went into uni. And like there was like 2 other people there waiting for this class, and we were like, hey, they're kind of we were kind of just talking about how the timetables have been messing us about, and like how just kind of we've been fucked about because like pretty much none of us know who our dissertation supervisor is, and we have lectures about surrounding our dissertation starting on Thursday. And we don't even know who our supervisors are, which is great, which is fun. So yeah, that's just great. That's just fun. We're just talking about that, and then it got to 10 and we were like, hey, no one's here, none of the lecturers are here. And the thing is, I did not miss uni lectures yet. The thing is, this is I wouldn't mind if it was like, oh, our uni is kind of known like for timetables being messed up, like this happens every year. But no, in previous years, the timetables have been fine. In the past 2 years, in first year and second year, the timetables have been fine. It's just in this year where they've messed about with timetables, which is a piss take. It's a fucking piss take because it's my last year. And I have my dissertation, which is like, you know, final year project. You know, that counts. That counts for like 40, like, I don't remember what it's called. 40 like points to like 40 credits. That's 40 credits. So like that counts for like 40 credits, which is like double the normal amount of like what the other modules are worth, because all the other modules cost like 20 credits. And so we kind of like, it's like a big thing that we need to graduate. So yeah. So yeah. And I don't even have like, I haven't checked this since, I don't think I've checked this since like Tuesday or Wednesday. So they might have been added on, but I cannot access like the module guides or anything for the vast majority of my modules. I can literally only access it for one of my modules. So yeah, anyways, back to what happened on Tuesday. So yeah, we were like, when it got to 10, we were like, because it was supposed to start at 10, we were like, what's going on around here? And it got to 15:15 and we were like, okay, we'll go see if the person like who was teaching next door knows anything, because there was a master's course being, I think it was postgrad students being taught next door. I'm not sure if they were master's students or not. Each at my unit, like the undergrad students, staff, and postgrad students have like different coloured lanyards. So that's how I knew that they were postgrad students. I wasn't sure if they were like masters or PhD or anything. But I assumed they were master's students. Anyways, he didn't know anything about our class. So we went, and then another lecturer like came on, and another staff member came on, and we asked him like, hey, do you know about a psychology lecture happening in this room? And he was like, no, like, come with me. And one of the other people that like were waiting, like, were just fed up, couldn't be bothered. So, which is totally fair, by the way. And they were like, I'm just gonna go home, which is so fair. So went to me and the other person went to reception. They just basically told us this is the room that's been booked out for today. So I assume that the lecture's still going on, and we were like, okay. So we went through some of the other rooms, and we went to see, oh, maybe it was on timetable spot, maybe it was like maybe they put the wrong room down. So we went through this whole block, seeing if there was psychology lectures going on. No psychology lectures going on for third years. And then the lecturer that was helping us out, the staff member that was helping us out, like, was like, hey, the psychology lecture, the psychology block is in this other building. We could check there, because sometimes we have psychology lectures in different buildings that is not on the psychology block. So I was like, at this point it was probably about 25 past 10, but it was like 10:30 at this point, and I was like, I was fed up, so I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go. So, and I was thinking in my head, okay, I was tempted to go home, and I was like, no, I'm actually gonna be somewhat productive. So I went into Home Bargains, and bought myself, I needed to get like a notebook and stuff. So I got myself a notebook, got myself some pens, got myself some highlighters, and then I think I got myself a Ribena as well, because I was fucking thirsty. And then I went to check into, I was like, okay, I'll check. And at this point, it was probably close to 11 at this point. I was like, okay, one last time, I'll check to see if, like, we are in this room. Maybe everyone else is just like, I was just like, okay. I went to check in the room. I went to check the room again. No one was there. And I was like, okay. This lecture ain't happening. This lecture isn't happening. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to, so what I ended up doing is going to the library and doing some research around my dissertation, right? Because I was like, okay, I want to do this around my dissertation. I do have some ideas, but I kind of wanted to narrow it down. So that's what I did. Tried to narrow it down. Tried to like figure out what kind of the design of like the study I wanted to do. I'm still not 100% sure, but like I can have a talk with like whoever the fuck my dissertation lecturer, my dissertation supervisor ends up being about like what would be like the best design for this study. I was thinking of like research questions and stuff. I was just basically doing a bit of research, and then probably about 12:30ish, I ended up doing a bit of research for about an hour and a half-ish. I was like, you know what? I think my grandma was picking me up at like 1. I was like, you know what? Okay, I might as well pack it in. Like, at this point, I was like, I have no idea where I'm gonna go from this point. I do have like a bit of an idea of like what I do still have like a decent idea of what I want to do for my dissertation. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go probably pick up a bit of chocolate and stuff. I was tempted to get some pizza from our cafe, because we have like pizza wrap things, and oh my god, those are so fucking good. I love them. I was tempted, but I was like, okay, I was like thinking, oh, I might get food later on, because my grandma had like this voucher for like a coffee shop. So I was like, okay, I'm tempted to get food from the coffee shop. So yeah, but I got there. I got to the coffee shop where I was meeting my grandma. I didn't actually end up getting like any like lunch food. I just got like a hot chocolate and like a caramel, what's it called? Caramel shortbread? Oh, what's it called? It's like a shortbread thing. I love shortbread. I'm a big fan of shortbread. So yeah, I just ended up getting that. I feel like I need to turn my music up a little bit. It's pretty quiet. But yeah, I ended up getting that. And then we went home, and then I made some pasta for my lunch. And I was so regretting not getting a pizza wrap. Oh yeah, I did actually see one of my friends before, actually, like outside of the library building, and so we ended up talking for a bit, because I do not see that friend a whole lot, because she's like on a different course to me. She does photography. I think I've talked about this friend before, but yeah, she does photography. I do psychology, so like we have different timetables. She's in 3 days. She's in like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. I'm in Tuesday and Thursdays. So yeah, I'll probably be able to see her on Tuesday sometimes. But I assume that we have like kind of slightly different schedules, so it won't align that often. Because on Tuesdays I have 2 3-hour classes, and I have a break at 1. I think I have an hour break at 1. And then I think when I met her, it was like 12:30, and she was just having her food, and she was about to like go back in. So I assume her break is like 12 to 1, or like 12:30 to 1:30. So I assume that like our schedules are not going to, our schedules do not line up that easily. So yeah, unless like one day like whenever I meet my dissertation supervisor, they're like, hey, I want to do I want to have meetings like every other Monday or every other Wednesday or whatever, then I'll probably be able to see on a more regular like basis. Yeah. not gonna lie, I do hate that I have 2 3-hour lectures in one day, because I am basically in like, it's basically a 9 to 5, because on Tuesdays, because I usually get there, because I usually wake up at 7, and then I usually leave about like 9:30. So it's not really a 9 to 5, but you know what I mean. It's basically it's basically like a work day, and it's like my brain is not wired yet to do a 9 to 5 work day. That is not how my brain is set up. My brain is set up to do like a 9 to 3, or like an 8 to 3, you know. So yeah. So yeah, I would rather have it me being in 3 days a week and have those 2 lectures be on different days. I think it's also as well, like, I would rather have those 2 lectures be like those 2 in the morning, and then me doing work for those lectures in the afternoon. Because that is kind of always how I've like done that. That's kind of how I've always done that in like the past few years. Whenever I've had, because in the past few years it's usually been like lecture in the morning, and then I get like an hour and a half, 2-hour break, and then it's 7 hours in the afternoon, or it's like I'll have like just a 3-hour class in the morning, and then nothing in the afternoon. I can do. Like, I can work on an assignment in the afternoon. That's how my brain has always worked for the past few years, but yeah. And to be fair, I do have like 3 days off, so what I could probably do is do maybe like work for those 2 classes on the Monday and the Wednesday, and then do dissertation work on Fridays, because obviously that's my like dissertation work. That's probably going to be my like, big focus. To be fair, I have a dissertation for the whole academic year to do, and to be fair, there's probably going to be a lot of waiting, because I'll have to wait for ethics to like process. Hopefully I can get like ethics done. Hopefully I can get ethics done like the first round, because we have to like, there's only like 1 day a month that we can like submit ethics, and now thinking about that, that's only in like 2 weeks. It's only in 2 weeks, which is crazy. So I think maybe next week, after if you don't get information about ethics on the Thursday after our dissertation lecture, then I might just email. I know the person who like does the ethics. I know who the person is who like kind of does a lot of stuff surrounding the ethics forms. So I might just email her and be like, hey, what is the stuff we need to do for our ethics stuff, so I can get it in like first thing. Hopefully I can get it in like either October or November, and then hopefully she'll get back to me, and then I can do that. Hopefully we get our dissertation, hopefully we get our dissertation supervisors before that first ethics submission, so then I can talk to my dissertation supervisor, talk to them about my study, and then get ethics together, and then start the shit out. And I actually did put, so the ethics person is also one of our lecturers, and I did put her down for my second choice of dissertation supervisors, because if you don't know, at least at my unit, you have to choose 3 people. You have to choose 3 people, and then you get as like you have to choose 3 people. The top like 3 people you would ideally want to be your dissertation supervisor, and then you get one of those choices to be your supervisor, right? And so I chose, I think I kind of explained this back in May, but in case, like, so that would be like 4 months ago now. Jesus, wait, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, 4 months ago. Jesus Christ, I've been off uni for like for like 4 months, for like 4 and a bit months, which is crazy. That feels crazy. But yeah, I did choose. I chose our so the cyber psychology guy, our cyber psychology lecturer was like my first choice, because that's what I want. That's what I want my. That's what I want my dissertation to be around. I want it to be around cyber psychology. And then my second choice was our ethics person, because I want to do it kind of like linking cyber psychology and language, kind of linking those. So I can probably talk more about this when I've actually kind of done my dissertation, or at least like once I've done my dissertation. So yeah. But yeah, second choice was the ethics person, who also does like language related stuff. Love her. We love her. Our ethics lecturer is like a great lecturer. We love her. And then the third person, I don't actually know a lot about. The third person I put down is actually like only joined our uni like last academic year, and she does mostly forensic stuff. She mostly teaches the people on like the forensic psychology course, and I'm on straight psychology. I'm on the straight psychology course, so I've not really run into her that much. I do know she does. I do know actually that she has a TikTok. So I have like, cause the thing is, I found out about her TikTok like. She literally posted a TikTok saying, "Hey, I'm joining this uni," and I was like, and then like a few months later, one of my research methods lecturer was like, "Yeah, this person who just joined does TikTok." So yeah, so I get her TikToks on my For You page like every so often, so I'm like somewhat familiar with like her doing forensic psychology stuff. But she actually, so we got given like kind of like briefs of like kind of what each person who was doing the supervisor stuff, what each kind of person was willing to do. But the thing is, so originally I was gonna put down another person to be my like third choice, because she had said at the end, I think at the end of third year, it was either at the end of first year or at the end of semester 1. No, it was at the end of semester 1 second year, because I remember it was just before Christmas and it was very cold. But I remember her saying like, hey, because we were talking about dissertations with her and then my program lead as well, because they were like, those two were both on a, I think those two, it was either those two were on a module together, or the other lecturer was doing like, was like a guest speaker. Anyways, we were talking about our dissertations, and I brought up, hey, I want to do it. I want to do it in cyber psychology, and she said like, hey, you could put me down. I'm interested in like social media and stuff. And I was like, cool. At that point, I already knew like the first two I was gonna put down. So I was like, cool. I've got my third person now. And then when we got the briefs, I was scrolling through. And I was going through like her brief because I was like, okay, I want to confirm that she wants to do cyber-psychology. It did say in her brief that she wanted to do cyber-psychology, and the thing is, we did this in one of our research methods, like seminars. Our research methods lecturer was like, oh, some lecturers have said that like they are willing to like do like pretty much any topic, but these are kind of the stuff they've done before. So yeah, but the thing is I was like, okay, I kind of want someone who like has kind of done something in cyber psychology before, and that wasn't a lot of people like at all, because cyber psychology, it's still like pretty new. It's only been around. Cyber psychology, I was looking through a bunch of the research articles, like every so often I'll look through research articles on like cyber psychology and like specifically like AI, social media, stuff like that. And there's only really, in like the area I'm interested in, there's only really been articles published within like the last 10 years, within like the last 10-15 years. So it's still a relatively new thing, so not a lot of people have done it yet. So not a lot of our lecturers have experience in it. And so I was looking through all the other lecturers being like, okay, I kind of want someone who has some knowledge in cyber psychology, so they can kind of help me, like, guide me through it, because again, it is still a new like field, right? Within like the basis of psychology, right? And so literally there was like 3 other lecturers that had some experience in cyber psychology, but the thing is, 2 of them wanted to do qualitative like dissertations, and only really wanted to do that because if any of the other supervisors wanted to do or like had experience in quantitative or like both types of research, then they would have put either quantitative or mixed methods. Basically quantitative deals with statistics, right? So mean, mode, median, like percentages, shit like that. But then qualitative, that deals with words, themes, stuff like that. Like if you search up cyber psychology and search up like a psychology of like AI, or like how AI affects like cognition or whatever, and if you have like a look through some of them, if you go to like the results section or the discussion section or like the conclusion section and it mentions themes, that's qualitative. If it mentions stats, then that's quantitative. If it mentions both, that's mixed methods. And I don't want to do qualitative. I fucking hate thematic analysis. I am not a fan of thematic analysis at all. Even though I do well in thematic analysis, it's a pain. It takes so long. Like, it takes me like I really struggle. I don't know why, but I really struggle to wrap my head around thematic analysis. Like for me, numbers make way more make way more sense to me in my brain than like themes and like trying to separate like shit people have said in interviews and like break that down into themes and sub-themes, right? Numbers easier to understand, right? So I was like, okay, I really want to do quantitative, and the first 2 lectures I had chosen were mixed methods. So I was like, cool. But the third one, I was like, okay, I'll choose the new person. I'll choose the new forensics lecturer because she has some experience doing social media, and like she's done some social media stuff beforehand, and and thingy, and she does quantitative research, and I was like, cool, I like that shit, I want to do that shit. So I put her down. So yeah, I don't want to make my dissertation like 10 times harder than it needs to be, because like I said, I am not a big fan of like doing thematic analysis, and that's the only the only type of qualitative analysis I know how to do. Like, we haven't been taught how to do any other type of qualitative analysis before. I better read your comment before I forget, Uzi. At my uni, your project supervisors chose you? Really? I've never heard that before. I was like, uni doing that. But what was I saying? But I was like, I might as well choose the new person, because I don't want to make my dissertation like 10 times harder on myself than it needs to be. And like I said, numbers make way more sense in my brain than like breaking down words and like stuff people have said in interviews and in questionnaires and stuff, and then breaking them down into like themes and sub-themes. And plus, it's like you're expected to do, I think it's that you're expected to have, I think at least at my uni, if you're doing like interviews and stuff, you're expected to have like 10 to 20 participants. And like, I kind of really hated it. Like, in first year when we did thematic analysis, we had 3, and then in second year we had 5. I really, my brain just like really hated that. I really hated that. But with the quantitative stuff, I just that the quantitative stuff makes way more sense in my brain, because the thing is, I think it's that with the qualitative stuff, it's like there's like there's like a bajillion different ways you can interpret what someone says in like an interview, right? And so it's like I'm like, okay, I don't know if that means, I don't know if that, I'm like, okay, am I on the words? I'm like kind of struggle with like, oh, am I going on the right path with what I'm gonna do, with what I think, how I interpret this. I do well. I've gotten like 70s on the qualitative assignments I've done before, but if I do it for my dissertation, I'm probably gonna be like 10 times more stressed, because it's like for my dissertation for my last year project, you know. So but like with quantitative, like it's like there's less room for kind of interpretation and error in that kind of sense. In the kind of sense that I'm thinking of, where it's like, oh, this value, if it's like under 0.5, or if it's like, I can't remember, yeah, it's under 0.5. If it's under 0.5, then it means that this research was significant and proves that there's correlation, or this like, or proves that this kind of like very much most likely did have this proves that kind of like either this correlation does occur 99% of the time, or that the vast majority of the time, like 95% to like 95% to like 99.999% of the time, A leads to B, or like A has an effect on B. You know, do you get what I mean? It's just like the numbers have like the numbers and like these values kind of have a more kind of structured and like set meaning compared to the like interview, compared to like the qualitative stuff. Now if you like not saying either way is wrong, I'm just saying like I much prefer having these things have been very structured and having a kind of more rigid set of meaning, right? But like there's probably other people that like, you know, having their own like interpretations of what happens, you know. And I'm very much of the opinion of like quantitative has its place, qualitative has its place, and like there is like in quantitative research there is a big room for misunderstanding, because you get a very like limited view of someone's experience. But with qualitative you get a much more expanded view of someone's experience. Like for example, if you were going to explore how someone's childhood affected them in like later life, and someone said, oh, my mum was very distant, she worked away a lot, if someone says, oh, my mum worked away a lot, she was very distant, in like quantitative research, that would be like, if it was on a scale, then like that would just be like, oh, that'd be a 9 on a scale for amount of emotional distance that someone had with their parent, right? But in qualitative research, you'd be asking them to expand more on how they believe that affects them and what they felt when their mum worked away, right? Like, you know, do you get what I mean? You know, so yeah, even though I do love like the kind of more set meanings of the data, of like the raw numerical data that comes from quantitative research is not like the BN, like the, what's it called, like the end all be all, you know. It's not like, you know, I think we should be moving towards a more mixed methods approach when it comes to psychological research, of like using kind of both the numerical and using the more numerical data of quantitative and the more expansive aspect of qualitative research. So yeah, I just prefer quantitative because it makes more sense in my brain. So yeah, maybe because I'm in computer science. Oh, that might be why. Either supervisors have ideas and they post it on the ideas page of our project review website, or the students have an idea, they book time with a supervisor and they pitch their ideas. Yeah, okay, so how we kind of did it is that we kind of got, so in one of our seminars we got given kind of like briefs of each supervisor that I kind of like, basically it was basically what they did, what they like, kind of what topics they kind of have done in the past, and like what they are kind of like more experienced in, and like the type of research they are more familiar with. So quantitative, qualitative, mixed methods, right? And then I can't remember if they put it, I'm gonna have a look actually. Because I still have access to those briefs, so I can have a look at like one of them, and kind of see how it was laid out. Because I remember it was they said the type of research that they did, and then it was like the type of research they did, and then what topics they done. So yeah, and they've changed the fucking layout of my thing, which I'm not happy about. Where is it? It'll be further down. There it is. Okay, let's see. Let me see. So it was. So basically, they put the type of research they did. So quantitative, qualitative, yada yada yada. And then their kind of main area of focus. So for example, biopsychology, research methods, psycholinguistics, etc., etc. And kind of they put keywords kind of related to what they mainly study. So, for example, my research methods, lecturer put down like facial stuff, because they did a lot of because she does a lot of research into like face processing and like facial emotions and stuff like that. And then like potential, and then they put like potential research questions and potential topics that they wanted to, that they put like potential research questions that like could help like us figure out what we wanted to do. So yeah, wanted to do for our thing, wanted to do for our dissertation. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we would have a look at those. We'd have a look at those like briefs, and then we'd have a look at those, and then we had a form to fill out. Basically, we had to, put on the form. We had to put down our name, student ID, and then I think we had to put our email as well, and then we had to put in our choices for our dissertation supervisors, and then we had to put in like the topics we kind of wanted to do, and then what else did we have to do? It was name, like student number, email, lecture, like supervisors, topics we wanted to do. What else? I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember again the form up. So yeah, we had to do that, and then basically we basically these would get out, and then we would get like either assigned or like either, I think we get assigned like one of the ones out of the list. The thing is though, you know what pisses me off? And I just realised I thought I was only going to be yapping for like half an hour, but it's almost been an hour. So yeah, to be fair, I don't have uni tomorrow, so I can keep yapping for a little bit longer. But yeah, you know what pisses me off though? So we basically, so our research methods lecturer gave us this form to fill out before Easter. So this was like what, like end of March, like middle, like this is like end of March, April time, right? And we got this form to fill out like before the Easter break, right? I don't remember when our Easter break was, but yeah, it was before. I remember it being before then, because I remember our lecturer saying, hey, try and fill this out either today or over your break. And then what she was going to do is look at the forms after Easter break, and then like try and assign us a lecturer based on trying to assign us a supervisor based on like what we had chosen. And she said like, oh, it's first come first serve basically. So for example, like I know that one of my lecturers, like she had 12 like dissertations to supervise, and then she got 2 taken off her for some reason, and then she got those 2 put back on her schedule. So for example, so we have like probably about 70 70 psychology students that regularly turn up to a lecture, right? There's probably like way more, there's probably a few more psychology students, but it's roughly about 70, right? and there's probably about, I think there was about 10 lecturers that put their names down to be the supervisors. So that's roughly 7 a student. But yeah, so what was I saying? Okay, so basically, if let's say if 20 of those students wanted to have the ethics person be their supervisor, then the first probably the first 10, or like the first 7 to 12 would probably get assigned, who put their name down, who put the ethics person's name down to be their supervisor, would get that supervisor. And then for the other 10, if any of the other supervisors, they had 3, they had put down, if any of the other supervisors they had put down were free, didn't have enough dissertations to look over, then they would probably be assigned to those supervisors. But if someone put in their form at the end of May instead of a March, April, there was a very high likelihood that they would probably not get any of their choices, or would probably get their third choice, right? So yeah, because most of the other people have been assigned to a supervisor, and maybe all the supervisors they put down had too many students, so they couldn't then hop on, because we don't want major overwork and shit. So yeah. The thing is, okay, let me get back to why this pisses me off. I think I just said this. I forget points all the time about what I've just said. But basically, we put those forms in before Easter, and we still haven't got our dissertation supervisor, which pisses me off, because I just want to know who it is. And the thing is, I was one of the first people to put it in. I know there was a few other people who submitted it either in that seminar or the same day after the seminar, right? So theoretically I should get my first or second choice. There's a very low likelihood that I'm gonna get my third choice, but it's fine. That's fine. But yeah. The thing is, we don't even have that. That just annoys me. We don't even have our dissertation supervisors yet, which pisses me off. That's the last thing we need. And literally, I remember this whole thing with my schedule has also pissed me off. This whole year has pissed me off so much, and the teaching hasn't even started yet. First of all, it was the fact that I hadn't got my dissertation supervisor yet, and then I was towards the end of August, I was very impatiently waiting for the re-enrollment thing. We got it probably, I think it was on the 26th. I got the re-enrollment thing, and yeah, so we got that, put it out. It was fine. But I was but then after I filled out the re-enrollment thing, I was wait a minute, there was no option on the re-enrollment thing to choose my optional modules, right? So I was okay. And then probably a day or two after I did the re-enrollment thing, I only got my schedule for the dissertation lectures and the stuff for the work experience. So I was what the fuck? Why haven't I gotten this email? Right, and then literally the week after, literally while I was on a holiday, right? My program lead emailed me probably about 2, and I didn't see it until an hour later, cause my day is shit everywhere. But my day still works decently. overbroad. It's just like, it's still kind of shared, but I think it's more of a signal thing rather than a data thing. Anyways, I didn't notice until an hour later, because I think I had actually turned my data off while for like the majority of the time, and like I only periodically checked it, and like I think it was around 3, or like it was probably around 2:30, when we were like probably around 2:30, like 3ish, when we were like getting food, getting our lunch, because I think we were planning to not have like tea until like dinner, until later on, and I think I don't even think we had like a proper tea. I think we just like ate some snacks and then ate. Yeah, I think my tea was literally just Pringles. I think my dinner was just Pringles and like a bit of chocolate. Anyways, we literally, while I was getting lunch, literally saw the email about my optional modules and was like, okay, we are staying inside here for the next like 10 minutes because I needed to fill out this form for my optional modules. And then I sent it off, and yeah, so yeah, I did that, and then I think it was only last week, it was like 2 weeks ago that I got my schedule for my optional modules. And then they decided to fuck up my optional modules. I think I complained about this. I complained about this on stream. I remember complaining about this on stream. So if you hear what I hear for that, I'm just gonna read going over that one. So basically, I checked my schedule like decently late at night. Saw that my 2 optional modules were overlapping, which should not have happened, by the way, because we only got 3 optional modules to do for semester 1. And so like two of the modules, which would have been those 2 modules would have been a popular combo, because a large amount of people don't, because the third module we had for this semester was related to therapy, and like a large amount of people don't want to do therapy, don't want to go and be therapists. I don't want to be a therapist. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that fucking module then. And so so I chose the other 2 modules because basically for this first semester, I just want to get a decent grade. Like, I don't really like, I care enough about the modules to want to do well in them, but I don't really care about the content. I don't really care that much about the content, because it's not what I want to specialize into when I'm going into, because I want to go work and be like a research assistant or whatever, you know. I want to go and do research, and I want to go research in cyberpsychology. And so obviously the 2 other modules and like the therapy module are not my areas I want to go in. Like, obviously I'll still try and learn the content, because like a lot of the 2 modules I picked in like are kind of like fundamental to like, they're obviously not fundamental to like all of psychology, because they were optional modules and not core modules, and we'll probably learn a lot of the stuff. It'll probably just be like an expansion of like stuff we learned in like first year and second year. But the other two modules, I don't really care that much about the content, because it's not what I want to specialize in. You know, I do want to do well, but I don't really have like an attachment to the content like I do with the psychology module that I want to do next semester. I haven't gotten my schedule for next semester yet. I don't think. I can check. Let's see. That's September, October, November, December. I don't have it for next semester. So yeah, So yeah, welcome back to the ad, by the way. And I have a comment on one of my TikTok videos. We're just ranting about my schedule, but yeah, those two modules, I don't. But yeah, back onto the thing. Back onto the modules. On like the timetable, fuck up. Basically, I did not want those two modules to. Obviously, I didn't want those two modules to overlap, but yeah, they did. Which is fucking stupid. So I was like, I checked this like decently late at night, not like crazy late, because I tend to go to bed like 11, like midnight. But it wasn't like crazy late, but like it was like out of office hours. So I was just like, I'm just gonna. It was probably about 7 or 8 that I checked my schedule, and I was like, I'm gonna check tomorrow. I'll check tomorrow. So yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna check tomorrow. So yeah, I was like, I'll email tomorrow. So I emailed. Then I can't remember if it was like a Monday or like a Tuesday. I think this might have been on a Tuesday that I checked the timetable, and then I was like, I'll email tomorrow. And then I emailed. And literally on the Wednesday, I literally emailed my program lead, like probably at like 9:30, 10, and then being like, hey, these two overlap. And then she was just like, all right. She was literally so quick in replying as well. We love her. We love my program lead. But then she replied so quickly, being like, oh, hey, I will get this sorted. Like immediately. And then literally like 3 hours later, like at 12ish, like just after 12, she emails me again, being like, hey, I got you. I just had a meeting with the like lecturers on these modules, and we're gonna move this module from like the morning to in the afternoon, and so it shouldn't clash anymore, and you should see it shouldn't clash anymore. I've just sent an email to the timetable people, and and it should be updated like soon. And I was like, cool, thank you. We love her. So yeah. Whoever the fuck does timetables this semester, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? I just hit my wall with my bottle. But yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Like, whoever does the timetables at my uni, I just don't have some words. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So, yeah, that annoyed me. What else has annoyed me this semester? Just like not getting my dissertation supervisor. That's like the only thing that really annoys me. So yeah.